I would like to welcome you to our webinar today, brought to you by Latin Trails. We are here to present to you handpicked luxury travel experiences in Ecuador. We have quite a few speakers with us today, and in a moment, I'll turn it over to Marcel Perkins. He's the managing director at Latin Trails. But would also like to mention at this point that we have Carlos Nunez with us, who is the founder and CEO at Contiki Expeditions. We have Alexandra Morales, who is the vice president at Contiki Expeditions. We have Diego Vidal, who is the operations manager at Itza Boutique Hotel. So with that, I will turn it over to Marcel Perkins, managing director at Latin Trails.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. And we're really excited because we're going to share Ecuador as a luxury travel destination. And a lot of you in the industry know that Ecuador has luxury product in the Galapagos Islands, in Quito, but there is other areas in Ecuador where luxury travel services and products have been developed recently. And a lot of them would be considered off the beaten path if we want to start like that. But in general, speaking a little bit about Ecuador, just for those who have not traveled or have not known much about Ecuador, we're located in South America, the northeastern side. The Galapagos Islands are part of Ecuador. It is one of the 17 most biodiverse countries in the world. We call it the country of four worlds because we have the Galapagos Islands, the Andes, the Pacific coast, and the Amazon rainforest. And we have 10% of plants and fauna and animals from around the world, and 17% of all bird species in the world in such a small country. So it gives you an idea of all the diversity the country has. The climate is tropical and spring-like weather. Our average temperatures have never gone below zero. We really have good temperature, and we can go up to 36 degrees centigrade. So it's actually very pleasant all year round. Our capital is Quito. 17 million people live in Ecuador, and we're, as I mentioned, it's a small country. We only have 256,000 square kilometers. Our currency is the US dollar, so your travelers do not have to worry about any currency exchange. And there is direct flights from all over the world to Ecuador, from Miami, Fort Lauderdale, from New York, from Houston. And then we have, of course, from Europe, from Madrid and Amsterdam and other countries around the region. Now, a little bit about Ecuador's luxury travel products. Just recently, our minister, Niels Olsen, represented the country at Virtuoso and spoke with thousands of travel agents, not just presenting products that are already included in Virtuoso or that, or considering that Virtuoso is the only luxury travel segment, but also presenting new products. And amongst those, we have Contiki Expeditions and other services as well that were shared during the conference. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about Latin Trails. Latin Trails is an incoming tour operator in Ecuador. We are DMC. We work mainly with travel agents and tour operators, so we work only on business-to-business basis. Latin Trails has services in the Amazon basin of Ecuador, in the Andes, in the coast, in the cloud forest. The cloud forest area of Ecuador is actually the area between the Andes and the Amazon, and the Andes and the coast. Of course, the Galapagos Islands. And Latin Trails focuses on luxury travel. As a DMC, our services encompass unique experience-focused travel programs, privately guided and with private transportation. We've been working since 2002, so we've been in the market for 20 years. We focus on using small luxury hotels, small eco lodges and yachts, all locally owned. So we really are looking into intimate travel here. Hotel upgrades. What we mean by that is, if there's a remote area around the country where there's no hotels or not proper hotels, we can upgrade the hotel, bringing in linens and infrastructure as well on our side. Our guides have been with us from the very beginning, so they have loads of experience. We have a 24/7 concierge department that looks after our guests as they travel around Ecuador, offering them custom services. Custom itinerary planning, of course, if you decide to plan a trip of Latin Trails, you have a travel planner that will help you create the itinerary for your clients. Community engagement and sustainable tourism practices. Now, having given you this summary, I'm going to actually share what we really do. Is you create really unique itineraries around Ecuador. And this is using luxury products. So we have luxury cultural Pacific coast of Ecuador. And here's a map of what we're going to cover right now in this itinerary, actually. It starts in Quito, it goes onwards to Manta, then we sail around the coast of Ecuador on board the Contiki Guaira, which you will hear a little bit more about later. And we end in Guayaquil, from where your actually travelers will fly out from. Now, starting into this, well, first day, arriving into Quito at 2,800 meters. We go onwards with a city tour. We visit the Equator Line in Quito. Now, Quito's colonial center, the Old Town, is a UNESCO heritage site, actually the first city to be declared that, with many colonial buildings, churches, historic monuments, and of course, the middle of the world monument as well. Then we fly onwards to Manta, the main fishing port in Ecuador, and we board this beautiful yacht, the Contiki Guaira. And the first night, we start sailing towards the island of Silver, Isla de la Plata. It is also known as the poor man's Galapagos because it's closer to the continental Ecuador. And here you find blue-footed boobies, masked boobies, frigate birds, even waved albatros are able to be spotted on this small island, just off the coast of Ecuador. The next day, we go onwards to Agua Blanca community. Here we find temples that were built 1,500 years before Christ. So we have the Manteño culture, one of the oldest in South America. There's also a spa with mud treatments, and you can bathe in sulfur waters. It's good for the health, they say. Then we have a unique visit. We arrive at the small town of Bahía de Caracas, and we go inland in the coast to a cocoa plantation, which is located in a community that's called St. Michael of Measles. There's an interesting story behind that. We'll get to that at some point. But we learn about Ecuador's finest cocoa beans, and where the best chocolate in the world is made from the best cocoa beans. Then we will go onwards to a unique project called Iche. It's a restaurant that is rescuing traditional coastal cuisine of Ecuador, some of the best gastronomy in the country and in the continent. We go onwards to Pacoche. This is a rainforest, well, a cloud forest reserve that's surrounded by dry forest and dry desertic-like beaches, but very beautiful and unique, where you have howler monkeys, coatis, and other unique wildlife and bird life. Onwards, we continue sailing. Actually, on that same day, we visit a sea turtle sanctuary. The next day, on day 8, we visit Valdivia Nayang. In Valdivia, we see ancient pottery, handmade, off the coast of Ecuador. And in Nayang, we have one of the beautiful beaches where we can take part in many marine adventures. Throughout this entire itinerary of the Contiki, you have the water park available. You have good snorkeling, and one of those places is actually in San Mateo, in Salinas. Actually, you have La Chocolatera. This shows a breakwater where you can see the strength of the ocean, but also a calmer area where you have La Loberia, where you can spot sea lions and snorkel around that area as well. Finally, we end this unique expedition with a visit to Pile. Pile is the place where the straw hats made out of paja toquilla are made, the first place where they were made. Now, of course, this is where they started being exported. They were taken to Panama, hence the mistaken name of Panama hat. These are actually Ecuador hats, Ecuador fine paja toquilla hats. We'll learn how they're made. We'll meet the artisans, the true descendants of the original weavers. Onwards, after disembarking from the Contiki Guaira, we will not lose on luxury. We will actually go onward to another luxurious property, La Danesa, which is in the coast of Ecuador, close to the city of Guayaquil. Here we will learn how to make chocolate pastries. We'll be able to go fat tire bike riding, tubbing on the river, learning about a working farm in the coast of Ecuador where they have cattle and different produce as well. And our adventure ends in Guayaquil, where we will join our international flight back home. So this is our itinerary that we're proposing for the coast. It can be customized. Latin Trails will help you book the Contiki, but also do all the airport transfers, hire the guides for the city tours, the hotels in Quito and Guayaquil, and all the necessary arrangements. And of course, we will look after your guests. So I'm going to actually send this to everyone once we're done. But right now, I'm going to pass onwards to my colleague and friend, Carlos Nunez, the founder of Contiki Expeditions, and he's going to give us a lot more detail about this wonderful company.
Thank you, Marcel, and thank you for being here in this webinar to learn more about the luxury kind of way to visit and to know more about Ecuador. Well, a little bit of myself. I'm Carlos Nunez, CEO and founder of Contiki Expeditions. I live in Manta. Manta is a city, a port, a tuna port, actually, located 3 hours away from Guayaquil and located 30 minutes flight from Quito, okay? So basically, you know, my father 30 years ago found this tuna processor company. I joined to work with him in 2000. And 5 or 6 years ago, he decided to go in on a vertical integration. So he bought a couple of tuna purseiners, and I was running the tuna fleet. And actually, 3 years and a half ago, looking for a solution for one of our tuna vessels, I spotted this beautiful yacht, which was abandoned on a shipyard in Guayaquil. So immediately pop up, an idea to do kind of a yacht expedition along the Ecuadorian coast, right? So at that moment, well, nobody was doing that. We are pioneers on this. So we just, do is a new concept. Let's say Contiki Expedition is a new concept of luxury ocean vacations, focused on conscious tourism. With you get to know a lot of the culture, the traditions, the nature of coastal Ecuador, of the gastronomy as well. So basically, it's a really beautiful and wonderful way to know more about this region in Ecuador, which is the coast. We do have a short video that represent and portrays in a better way what we're talking in at this moment. So as you may see, Contiki is a different and is a completely different product, totally different from the Galapagos, which is so into more nature. So that's the beauty of our product, and we are glad to present it to you. We are in 5 months in operation already. Marcel has we're glad that we had him on board already with his wife and enjoyed and know more about this region, which was completely unexplored until today. So I pass it on to my colleague Alexandra. She will go more into detail about the itinerary and so on about Contiki. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Carlos, and thank you, Marcel, and thank you all for being here. First of all, let me tell you a little bit about our name, Contiki. Contiki Viracocha was the name of the god of the creation of the Incas, so that's very symbolic for us. But I'm going to take you also to travel with purpose to an unexplored destination with a unique product that combines culture and nature. And as Marcel was mentioning, we are one of the 17 mega diverse countries in the world because we concentrate in every area of our country, flora and fauna, and that's the case of the coast. where you will find a big diversity of nature that you will be really surprised. Because Ecuador is crossed by the equator, but also from north to south by the Andes. That allows us to have microclimates, and we have part of the Chocó Ecuatoriano in the Andes that comes down along to the Pacific coast. So let me take you to this journey to tell you that we have a product that combines this culture in the local communities that have the heritage of the Manteños. Our weather, just to mention before I go into the expeditions and itineraries, is we operate all year around because we have an amazing weather. From December to April, it will be tropical, and then the rest of the year is spring-like. So the water, even the water, will be just wonderful for snorkeling or scuba diving. We have 5 days, 4 days, and 8 days cruises. This is the Espondilos Expedition, but we do have others like the Toquida. All of them have nice combination of culture and nature. We depart every Sunday from Manta, and we will go back again to Manta. And as already Marcel mentioned, all these locations, for us, it is important to mention that in each of these ones in San Vicente, Manta, Machalilla, we will offer special experiences because we believe that what you will take back will be more the experience that the beautiful yacht that I will show you in a few minutes. This is our yacht. As Carlos mentioned, it took us a while because we started this project 4 years ago, and after that we were ready to start, but the pandemic came. So it helped us to really work and be excellent in what we have, not only in the customer service, but all the details that we have in the boat. It's eco-friendly, all the products that we have used, and also the shampoos and everything that we have on board. We have 9 luxury cabins for 18 passengers only, 3 different types of cabins, veranda, panoramic, and that one that we call it interior, but it's not an interior, has 2 nice portholes that will surprise you. And if we can go to the next one. We have 5 different sun decks plus the jacuzzi, so you will feel that you are the owner of the yacht. We have 13 crew members, among them 2 specialized guides. So it's almost one-on-one for 18 passengers. We are on top of every detail. Next one, please. Very important for us to mention about sustainability. Well, this is one of our pillars, and it's really in the heart of Contiki. We have been working due to other projects that Carlos was mentioning before with different communities for over 10 years. We have extended this collaboration with Contiki for 3 years already with these communities. The purpose is to help them be sustainable. And we are working in different programs depending on the needs of each community. Also, we are part of Mingas por el Mar, so we take care of the seas. We train the people in the communities to take care of them. We talk about plastic waste, etc. And obviously for us, this is not something trendy. This is, as I mentioned, in our heart. So we have decided to certify it. So we started with B Corp 7 months ago. Our certification, it takes a year. It's very difficult, but we want them with their KPIs to trace all the work that we are doing in the coast of Ecuador. This is also very important for us, and we are very proud to be the first marine expedition to be part of small luxury hotels. They met us 3 years ago when we went for the first time to ILTM Cannes. And last year, they came, they audited the yachts, the destinations, the food, and we are part of the small luxury family. And for us, being a new product, this is a guarantee for any passenger. Here we have this mixture of culture and nature. In the cultural part, as we work with these communities, we have a deep immersion with this community, so our passengers, our guests will be able to interact with them, to learn from them. We will see how they work in their handcrafts. We will try their gastronomy. That is an amazing gastronomy. We have our chef that's specialized in ancestral cuisine. So we will be able to share with you all this amazing knowledge that they have in the food that we will serve on board. and also some experiences, as Marcel mentioned, that are like Iche and other surprises, wow factors that I'm not going to spoil that today. And then on the nature side, we have a lot of diversity. Just for example, in Buenaventura, we have over 400 different species of birds, mammals, monkeys, we have slot bears, huatis, we have cuchuchos, animals that are endemic from the area. And then in other parts that are in front, the little islands that we have in front of the coast, as Marcelo was mentioning, that's amazing for snorkeling or scuba diving. And we'll also visit Isla de la Plata, Salango, Sucre, where you will be able to see many of the animals that you will see what we have in the Galapagos Islands, as the blue-footed boobies, the frigates, the Nazca boobies, and other animals that you will find, the giant marine turtles. And if you are able to come between May and October, you will be able, we have the whale season, and you will be easily be able to see the whales because they come from the South Pole, from the Antarctica, and they come to mate and the mothers to have their babies. And as they come with the water current of Humboldt from the South Pole, it turns left at the equator and goes to the Galapagos. So that's where they have the food. But from the north, we have 3 different water currents that are warm. So that's why they will remain in our coast for 4 to 5 months. On those same dates, you will also be able to see the giant stingrays that are just spectacular. And just to finish in this very short presentation, just to share with you that we are the only super yacht to have these marine toys that are just amazing, and all kids and older people will really enjoy them. So I share with you some pictures, but you can see the oceanic pool, you can see the sea bobs, that we have 4 sea bobs with cameras. And just when you come back from the expeditions, you will be enjoying all these toys, and then you can go to the jacuzzi and see the sunset with a very nice cocktail. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Carlos. That's a wonderful presentation. And it just brings up so many memories of such a beautiful expedition, learning about, even though we travel a lot around Ecuador, we did learn a lot. We found the source of, the chocolate bean, where they make these, out of these beans, this is where they make the $400 chocolate bars, the best cocoa beans in the world. Really getting the chance to snorkel a little bit more at Isla de la Plata again, visiting, the hat weavers. All this is great. And all this together in one expedition that combines not just nature, but, culture, luxury. And every evening, I've been surprised with some really great fine dining and events on board. I'm not going to spoil it more either, but I'm going to get into a second itinerary just to show you, that there's a lot of diversity in Ecuador, and there's so many opportunities for luxury travel. We call this Tour de Jewel of the Andes. It's a 9-night, 10-day. This second trip starts in Quito. It visits Otavalo. We fly to Cuenca. We visit Saraguro, which is a beautiful indigenous community. We go through Cajas, and we finish in Guayaquil. So this is another trip that combines the culture of Ecuador with luxury services as well. We start in Quito, as many trips in Ecuador start. Well, why not? It's the center of the world. In Quito, we have the Colonial Center, which I mentioned, the visit to the middle of the world. But on this trip, we also visit the Guayasamín Museum. Osvaldo Guayasamín was an indigenous artist that took Ecuadorian art to the highest level and is recognized worldwide. We visit his museum and his collection of colonial art and its interpretations. And of course, we have fine dining at several locations around Quito. The next day, actually, the first 3 days, we visit Otavalo, the Otavalo market. This is in the northern Andes of Ecuador. We get to see the crater lakes and the Cayambe volcano, weather depending, of course. But apart from visiting the market and the artisan stalls, we also visit an indigenous home where we learn about the weavers and their workshops, their lifestyle, and how they do the different patterns on the two-sided tapestries and different aspects of that. Then we actually are going to fly to Cuenca. It's a half-hour flight, very short. Cuenca is one of the most beautiful cities in Ecuador. I know that being in Quito, it's hard to say, but I can actually say it is the most beautiful city in Ecuador. You can walk around the city for days. Beautiful colonial buildings, but live culture as well. But I'm not going to spoil too much because today I have with me Diego Vidal. He's one of the tourist guides from Cuenca, but he's also the hotel manager at Itza. And we're going to get into that as well. It's a beautiful luxury hotel in Cuenca. Now, apart from visiting Cuenca, we're going to visit Saraguro. This is an indigenous community in southern Ecuador where they also do weaving. They make special hats made out of wool. They also have wood carving, clay, and pottery. And it's a beautiful community with some of the best gastronomy in Ecuador is found here too at a special place called Chamuico. It's a restaurant run by a local indigenous man who has worked at several Michelin star restaurants around the world and brought this fine cuisine back to Ecuador. Then we have a visit to the Cajas National Park. These are 200 box lakes. And this is a natural area with good bird watching and amazing scenery. Finally, we end in Guayaquil, staying at La Danesa, and then passing by our main port before the international flight or an extension trip around Ecuador, where Latin Trails can organize that for you, visiting the Galapagos or any other place around the country. I'm going to go into details about La Danesa briefly. This is a beautiful working farm at the coast of Ecuador, an hour and a half from the airport of Guayaquil. They've recently built luxury new cottages, some really nice social areas at the lounge. But the highlights are the working cattle farm, the cocoa plantation, the ancient teak highway. We call it that way because it surrounds this dirt road, which is surrounded by these giant centenary teak trees, and here you can go fat tire bike riding, horseback riding, and other activities. But also now I'm going to invite my colleague and friend Diego Vidal to talk about Itza Boutique Hotel International in Cuenca, the new luxury option in the Ecuadorian city of Cuenca. On to you, Diego.
Hello, everybody. I'm so happy to be here and to show you the new and probably the best option you have to stay in Cuenca. As Marcel said, in fact, thank you very much. He was just talking about the city of Cuenca. I'm a proudly Cuencano. Also, for 20 years, I did a guiding all over Ecuador, especially in my area. In the last year and a half, I've been working in the hotel industry, in this case, in this luxurious hotel. Just to mention a little bit about the construction, and the place itself is a building from the 1925. It was built by Alfonso Durini, which was an Italian architect. He came in Ecuador in the 1900s, and he did important and impressive constructions all over Ecuador and South America, including some in Quito, Riobamba, Cuenca, Buenos Aires, and Lima. He was well-known for the beautiful French style he was using. As you will be seeing, the hotel is full of details. You can tell all of the beautiful courtyard, also the hammer thing in the ceilings, which is very interesting because it does tell the history of the city. For example, in this case, we can see one of the rooms. This suite, for example, is a 52 square meters suite, who has all of the different facilities for a modern hotel in a beautiful, pretty much 100 years old building. In the hotel, I would like to talk about a little bit more of the facilities and what you will be finding in such a beautiful building. As for example, the windows are soundproof and weatherproof with a double glass. Also, we have heating on the floors. We have just taken care of every single detail in order to create an important experience in all the customers and visitors of our hotel. In this case, our hotel are having the best views because we are only a block away from the main plaza. Later on, we're going to talk a little bit about Cuenca and how easy it is to walk and enjoy the city. In this case, we can see also one of the suites. This one is with two different ambients. The first part is a little living room with a sofa bed, and also the main room with a king-size bed. In this case, we can see the main dining is Santo Placer. Here is something very special because we have worked in details, and one of those details, it was, of course, the selection of the most important we have in our house, which is our team. We have select cooks and chefs from all over Ecuador. The idea was to have the expertise and the recipes, the ancient recipes of every corner of Ecuador, because we know or one of our main attractions for sure is our gastronomy. So we have beautiful things to work on. So we have just bring together these techniques from people from Manabí with the coast, of course, touch. We have people from the Andean region and the Amazon as well. The idea was just to combine all of those techniques. And we can serve those in Santo Placer or in our rooftop. As you can tell, the rooftop is a new idea, is a little bit different, is an eclectic style, the hotel, as you can tell, with all of the beautiful colonial decoration on the first floors, but on the fourth floor is all modern, is more clean, is more clear, because we have the wonderful views of Cuenca, the cathedral, and of course the mountain range surrounding the city. As I said, we are in the heart of the city. You don't need a car or anything just to walk around. Here you go. This is the facade of the hotel. As you can tell, it's a beautiful building with in the corner. Actually, the presidential suites are in the middle of the hotel in the center. So that is why they are so big, and they are having not only one but two balconies where you can enjoy the views of the city, and of course to see how vibrant is the city. About the suite and the other rooms are all in the side, so we're always having a great view of the colonial city of Cuenca. Here is just an idea so you can see what you will be enjoying when you come to Cuenca. I have seen a question for somebody to take an extension after the Galapagos trip. Cuenca will be one of the best options. It's only 2.5 hours away from Guayaquil, and you can always come and enjoy of these beautiful views, of the beautiful walk through the plazas. As you can tell in the lower left picture, there is actually one of the markets, the traditional indigenous markets, with a beautiful surrounding plaza. On the upper left side is the Cuenca's Cathedral and the seminarium, which is only a block away from our hotel. So as you can tell, Cuenca is a very friendly and a very easy walking distance city. And as Marcel says, Cuenca, the Itza International Hotel is your best option and luxurious option in the city of Cuenca. Thank you very much.
Diego, thank you so much, and thank you for sharing all those details about Cuenca. Such a wonderful place. Now I'm going to tell you I'm going to wrap up, and I'm going to share a little bit about the hotels that we use in Quito. Isla Experience Hotel. This is a colonial mansion. It's restored. It's in the old town of Quito, in a neighborhood called San Marcos. Everything inside the hotel is handmade. This actually belongs to my family. And to give you an idea of what we've put in the hotel, it holds our family traditions. For example, my wife's grandmother, she used to weave rugs. And she would actually give one to every great-granddaughter or great-grandson that was born. Well, don't worry, we didn't have grandma weave any rugs this time, for sure. What we did is we took her on a short road trip, and we took her to the city of Guano, well, a small town in the Andes, and she selected the family that would weave the rugs for the entire hotel. So this family had a job for the entire year. And we can tell you about every piece that's in the rooms or around the hotel in that sense. Now, Isla is a 5-star property located right in the old town. It has great views, but the real stars are in our community, actually. We have artisans, artists, and our neighbors. Every afternoon, we offer our guests different experience at Isla Experience Hotel. Watercolor painting on the rooftop, hat weaving, or making a dessert with one of our neighbors. And recently, we just inaugurated a new restaurant called Inés. And together with our chef, Juan Carlos Donoso, we decided to create a project called Nests. And I'll tell you a little bit about that. Latin Trails, Isla Experience Hotel, and Inés are hosting young talents from all around Ecuador, from the Amazon, the coast, the Andes, and the Galapagos as interns. We give them a full salary, full board, and they will be learning with our head chef, who's worked at Michelin star restaurants around the world. And not only learning, but after 2 years, we will choose one of them to build a restaurant in their community. So this is our project, and this is what Isla supports. Now, just to wrap up, Latin Trails also offers services as a DMC in the Galapagos Islands. We can offer hotel-based trips on all the different islands, the inhabited islands. We have our own offices there. We work with an expansive staff of guides and suppliers. Some of the day trips we can offer, for example, are Española Island, Kicker Rock, Punta Pit. These are full-day tours from one of the inhabited islands, San Cristobal in this case. We also offer Liveaboard Cruises. We operate the Galapagos Seaman Journey, which is a first-class yacht, catamaran with 8 cabins. We have the luxury class Petrel, which is 8 cabins as well, with nice outdoor areas, a hot tub, private balconies in each cabin. And we work with most of the first class and luxury class yachts in the Galapagos Islands. You can find these at GalapagosBoutiqueYachts.com and GalapagosCatamarans.com. But in general, these are random pictures from all the boats. As you can see in the Galapagos, you will be not lacking any comfort. So Ecuador is right now has a really nice offering of luxury travel in all of its areas. In the future webinar, we will be covering some information about the Amazon as well, so stay tuned about that. But this is our presentation. As I said, Latin Trails is the glue that wraps it all up, but we wouldn't be able to do this without wonderful partners like Quito Expeditions, Itza Boutique Hotel International, and of course, all the properties and the wonderful destination Ecuador is and its nation. I'll share the contacts and we'll be sharing the itineraries with you after the presentation. And now on to you guys with your questions, and we will give any answers that we can.
Thank you, Marcel, and of course your guests as well. This is fantastic. So I want to invite the audience, as you're listening in now and you've been taking everything in, if you have a question that you have been waiting to see if we were going to answer and we haven't, go ahead, send that in through the Q&A box. Just take your mouse, hover over the screen, and you will be able to have access to the box. I know several of you have asked for the replay, and we will be able to get the replay out to you. Some others have asked about marketing materials, Marcel. Are you able to supply images and materials for advisors?
Absolutely. I'll be sharing this presentation, but I will also be sharing the itineraries and the details and the pricing for all these services, and of course the contact information we have, and that way you can contact us and we can customize the program. So if there's anything that your guests want to see in addition to what we have in these itineraries, we can add it in. We also work with, as I mentioned, the Amazon and other areas of Ecuador as well.
Okay. Well, and this question it talks about I think it's getting to, best time to travel and all that, but it says when you say tropical weather from January to April, does that mean especially rainy? Would that be considered the green season or rainy season?
Well, it depends on the area of the country, and I'm sorry if I'm taking over the answer right there, but I want to talk a little bit about all of Ecuador. If you go to the Amazon, it's going to rain all the time, almost every day, and quite a lot. When we talk about rainy season or dry season in the Amazon, we're talking about high water or low water season because of the rains that come from the Andes. Now, in Ecuador, the heaviest rains in the Andes, or if you want to call it tropical, would be in the months of April and early May. But having said that, we have sunny mornings and we'll have a downpour of a couple hours in the afternoon. There might be one day or two where it rains all day, but that's a real variation in weather. It's not like a monsoon in that sense. Now, going onwards to the coast, the rainy season does start in December and it goes all the way through June, both in the coast and in the Galapagos Islands. Now, what this actually it happens is the temperature does rise, but you have a sunny time, but then you have a good couple hours or more of rain in the afternoon, but then the sun comes back out. So that's kind of like our rainy season in that time. Carlos,
beautiful sunsets.
Beautiful sunsets.
Oh, absolutely.
All time.
Sunrise.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, enjoying a cocktail at the jacuzzi on board the Contiki Waira, that's the guy for. It's just like you just see some of the most beautiful sunsets around the world there at the ocean. So it's just wonderful.
Oh, nice. Well, speaking of Contiki, how agile or fit does one need to be? Does a person need to be physically active in order to enjoy one of your experiences?
Yeah, I think that in the case of Contiki in the coast, you don't need to be that fit as in Galapagos, because in Galapagos it's volcanic soil, so it is different. It's easier here, but still getting on and off the boat, you need to not be fit, but at least be able to do it in any case. I don't know if Carlos can expand that.
Yeah, well, at the end, there are some places that we can go on a wet landing or dry landing as well. so it's not that difficult. And once you get on board, there are some places around the boat that you can, be by yourself. As long as you don't have any disability or problems walking or whatever, you will be fine.
Mhm.
But and on the experiences on shore, yeah, we have buses that take us on the communities and to enjoy at the beach and for an afternoon kind of session or whatever. So yeah, at the end, it's not that difficult, So it's quite easy.
Good.
Just adding a little bit on there, Ecuador does have facilities for travelers that are physically challenged and in all its areas. But again, in what Carlos mentioned, maybe the Contiguara is not adapted to that, but a lot of the activities could be enjoyed by somebody that is physically impaired, because there's not really difficult walking trails or anything like that. And some of the visits, the cultural visits, are actually within town areas. So there is possibilities and options there. And the rest of Ecuador, of course, does have a lot of accessibility throughout the entire country, including areas of the Galapagos and certain facilities there. In the Galapagos, we do have, for example, for snorkeling, we do have special wheelchairs that float for travelers that would like to do snorkeling as well.
Oh, wow. Okay. What about family? How family friendly are the experiences that we've talked about today? Would you say that there's a minimum? What would be the youngest age you would recommend these experiences for if one were to bring children?
If I may, in the Contiki, Huayra, we suggest at least to be 6 years old, the kids. But if you charter the boat, we have had even babies. So it all depends. But we also, I probably forgot to mention, but we have in the veranda cabins, we have 4 cabins that can be interconnected for families. So we have got a lot of reservations from families. It's very family friendly. We can even help with a nanny if needed. So it is ready for them.
Yeah, I just like to add on that all of Ecuador is family friendly. It's a family friendly destination, the Galapagos, the Amazon even, and of course,
and I have 2 kids. Olivia, almost 12 years, and Jose Maria, 8 years old. And they even try the product and the boat and the experiences, and they do super well, and they enjoy it so much. Yeah. So yeah, it's a super kids friendly experience.
Okay, good. I see that we had a question come in about scuba diving. While I've got your microphone, maybe Carlos, I know you just answered that, but maybe you could give everyone a little bit more information.
That's one of the beauties of Contiki and the experience at the coast, because from June to November, we have like 2 special visitors coming to the coast. One of them are the humpback whales that you might see at the video. They're beautiful. We just get super close to them, and you can see these mammals, these beautiful mammals that are coming from the south, from the pole. And then also we have like the Nebulas virostris, which are the big mantas, 6, 7, 9 meters mantas that are coming nearby the Isla de la Plata. And there's like the angels of the sea, super friendly animals. And if you do scuba diving, that will be awesome. Actually, 2 weeks ago, we have our first Contikiers that went on a scuba diving experience. They loved so much, and yeah, they have a beautiful time. And because of that, I went into free diving. So I got myself. If you go to Contiki Expeditions Instagram, there's a reel that you can see me doing free dive with these mantas, and that was the most amazing and beautiful experience that I have in my life. Yeah.
Wow. And if I may have 2 more minutes, I would like to share some news. We are offering for 2023 8 weeks of wellness. We have people that are certified and specialized in this area. And can you imagine yourself doing yoga at 6 in the morning with the sunrise in the Isla de la Plata, for example? So we will have that material in 2 weeks, and we will share with all of you as well.
Wonderful. That sounds fabulous. Thank you. A question for you, Marcel. We had someone, Paolo, asking about best area to stay in Quito. Oh,
The Isla
unmute.
Hotel.
Wait, you got to unmute yourself.
I am a bit biased there, and everybody knows that because I'm one of the owners at Isla Experience Hotel. We're located in the Old Town. No, but in all honesty, I do want to push for the Old Town because you actually, I mean, after a city tour, and exploring the city, you can actually go and backtrack on your footsteps and go around the city and spend more time close to something you like. The Old Town of Quito is beautiful. You have colonial buildings, you have museums, you have some really nice coffee shops, and many venues that you can visit over and over and take it in slowly. So I would say the Old Town. Now, I also want to be honest. If you have a 6 a.m. flight onwards to the Galapagos, there are some nice hotels that are right next to the hotel, to the airport. You have the Wyndham and you have other options there. So if you have a red-eye flight, that's an option as well. So it really depends. But if you want to explore the Old Town in the Colonial City Center, yes. Now, to be a little bit more honest, if you're a bird watcher, there's several lodges right in the outskirts of Quito that have bird watching gardens. One of them, for example, is Hacienda Su Merced. It's close to the airport, but it has these beautiful gardens and there's some nice birding there as well. So there's several options. Quito, I would say any part of the city you stay in, you're going to have a wonderful time.
Okay. What do you think about, there's a question that came in while you were answering about the Old Town area in Quito. And the question is, how safe is that area?
Quito's a very safe city in general. It's been, Ecuador in general as a country is very safe. And Quito as well. The Old Town is our treasure there. So we actually, you could actually walk around the city comfortably. And there, as in any city around the world, there are areas that are considered a little bit more dangerous than others, not necessarily because there's crime there, but because they are a bit abandoned and they're a bit, they've been let fall out of place. So that's why there's not as much recommendation to visit. And of course, I mean, at night in those areas, you're not going to find much more people. So you're in an abandoned, in an abandoned alley, if you want to say it that way, in those areas. Doesn't necessarily make it unsafe, but it's not the most comfortable situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good. Okay, thank you. I see Carlos is answering this question, but I think everyone might enjoy as well, just about choppiness in the sea condition.
Yeah, that's a really good question. We sail along the coast nearby the shore, 2 or 3 miles near the shore. You get to see the shore, next by. And we recommended to give to the passengers to take Dramamine. We also give them some bands as well. The bands usually that you get from the big ships. We get it also at the boat. But at the end, it's not choppy at all. I mean, it's smooth navigation. We are not going into open waters. The only main point that we can get to that is to get to Isla de la Plata. If you remember, Marcel, probably is a little bit more not that I say choppy as difficult, but a little bit rough, a little bit, but not so rough.
There's not really large waves or anything like that. It was actually I would say very smooth. Because, I navigate a lot in the Galapagos, and I would say that it was, being close to the coastline, it was very, very smooth in that sense. And the Galapagos are not choppy either. So it's a very smooth ride. But again, if you get seasick, this is what I tell everybody. If you get seasick on a boat, you'll get seasick anywhere in any ocean, even if there's no movement, not much movement. So taking Dramamine, as Carlos mentioned, or using a wristband, an ear patch, or something in advance, it's going to help out a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good. Diego, I have a question for you. Is ISA set up so that if a larger or an extended family wanted to come, that you could accommodate sort of a mid-sized group if they wanted to take over the property or something along those lines?
Yeah, actually, we have 15 luxurious rooms, and since the building is actually a Republican building, we have a lot of restrictions on the construction, so we cannot have interconnected rooms. But the hotel is so familiar, and so, for example, what we have done previously with families is like we assigned the rooms just all together in the same floor, in the same area. Actually, just to get into the hotel, you only can come with your room card to go through the elevator. So it's actually very secure for family. The rooftop has actually a plenty of room for families to share in different areas as well. So it is a family-friendly hotel, definitely. So also the rooms are so big as we can accommodate in case of the family would like to share in the same room. For example, the presidential suite has 52 meters, so we can easily accommodate a couple of small beds in case of they want to bring the kids and they want to have their separate bed as well. So we are very flexible in those matters.
All right, wonderful. Marcel, perhaps, is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience today before we say goodbye? I think we can go around to the rest of our speakers as well at this point.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to, again, say thank you for everyone for attending, for all these wonderful questions. And if there's more questions, just feel free to reach out and we're happy to answer. My email is marcel@latintrails.com, but I will be sending that out to everyone as well. And remember now that, Ecuador is not just Galapagos. There's a lot more to the country. Of course, it's an important destination. There is luxury there. There is luxury in the Andes. There is definitely luxury by the coast and in the Amazon as well. So think of Ecuador as a destination with so many facets and areas to it that you can spend more than a week in the country exploring, and you will definitely not get bored. So think of Ecuador as your destination, and think of Ecuador as luxury.
Wonderful, thank you. Alexandra and Carlos, would you like to share anything else with our group?
Yes, maybe that we would love to have you on board. We all have few fun trips coming up in the following months. So let us know. Marcel will share with you my email, and we will be very happy to have you here in Ecuador, and especially on board Contiki.
Yeah, and my thoughts would be that come join us, because you're going to see the Ecuadorian coast as never you've been seen before. It's completely unexplored, and you will be among the first ones in the world to discover this new beautiful region.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Alexandra. Diego, would you like to?
Just a wide open invitation, not only to come and discover the city of Cuenca and enjoy the best option you have to stay, which is the Itza International Hotel, is also to come and enjoy the country. As Carlos Marcel says, wherever you go, you're going to find something spectacular to do and to enjoy. Ecuador is full of incredible places. So the invitation is just to send your clients to people. Come yourself and you will see it. You will be always finding in every corner, in every part of Ecuador, someone with a big smile and something to offer you a very beautiful experience. And of course, we'll be here with a wide open arms waiting for you and to show you the best of our culture, the best of our food and our country, of course. So the invitation is open and just waiting for you to come. Thank you very much, Marcel, for your invitation. Thank you very much, Carlos and Alexandra. It's been an honor being with you. The same, well, thank you very much.
My pleasure, as always. And Marcel will make sure that everyone receives a link to the replay. We will also make sure that everyone who attended today, we're going to send all of your email addresses along to Marcel and Alexandra and Diego and everyone. You'll probably be hearing from them individually, which will be wonderful as well. So thank you all so much for being with us. And Marcel, thank you for organizing this.
Okay, Lee, thank you. No, thank you for hosting us and for helping us and all the support. Have a great, wonderful day, and thank you, everyone. Take care.
Thank you, Marcel. Thank you, everyone.
See you soon in Ecuador.
Goodbye, everyone.